are now joined by the driver of the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, Martin Truex Jr. We'll go ahead and roll right into questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get you a wireless microphone. We'll start up front with Bob, then we'll go over here.
Bob Hockeris, Fox Sports. I have two. Have you taken a look at that inside wall yet in turn 11?
Yeah.
And how do you think that could impact things this weekend?
Yeah, it's definitely different. You know, we're used to having the tires down there, which, you know, you can kind of, at some point in the race, the tires always kind of keep getting moved back a little bit, and then you can use more of that paint in turn 11, and it definitely helps you get through there. So it's going to be just a little bit trickier, and then obviously, you know, we've seen contact in that corner many times before, so there's not really anywhere to escape now if you have, you know, a guy kind of squeezes you getting in there. So could cause some problems. We'll see.
And obviously there's a lot of drivers right now looking for rides. I'm curious, is Gibbs asking you for a decision sooner than later, and are you any closer or have one?
Every week, Bob. I'm closer every week. How's that? Every week I get closer. Yeah. That's right.
We'll go up front here.
Aaron Wilson with Cron 4 Sports in San Francisco. One of the biggest headlines around this weekend, obviously, is you getting a win, but this is a repaved track that you've had some success on, but it's not been this terrain, I guess, this surface.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that affect you out there, or would affect you out there on Sunday, if at all?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot different than it's been. You know, I think, you know, every time, for as long as I can remember, you come to Sonoma and you think, you know, worn out track, tire wear. The approach is a lot different than what it is now. Now it's really going to be, you know, pretty much running qualifying laps every lap with the tires that don't wear out or don't really fall off much. So totally different approach, I think, than what we've done here at home, you know, at Sonoma in the past. But with that being said, you know, we tested out here. I felt good about it, and it's still the same course. So new challenges, same course, and hopefully we can, you know, we can figure out and go back, win number 5 here.
We'll go to the back, and then we'll come over to Jeff.
Hey, Martin. Adam Carabine, RacingRefresh.com. Just to also kind of follow up on that, the repave here at Sonoma, I heard Christopher Bell yesterday saying that maybe what set you apart here was that your experience in saving tires on the old surface, which was very abrasive. Were you upset to find out they were repaving, and you know, how does that affect your strategy this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I wish they didn't. You know, we had something really good here working, and you know, certainly last year we you know, we did really well with it. So yeah, I don't know. I think you know, we won on both configurations of track here. You know, I've won in some different race cars here over the years, different models of cars and different generations of cars. So really, it's just always been about adapting. And you know, like I said, we tested out here, and I thought it went really well. But I think this could be the hardest one to win of all of them, just because of, you know, it's going to come down to track position and, you know, being on the right strategy, having good pit stops. You know, we could see a guy gamble on when to pit and catch a caution and win the race, kind of come from nowhere. So I just think there's more of a chance of an upset or a guy surprising the field, I think, this time around, whereas, you know, before, if your car was really good, you could drive through the field. You know, as simple as that. You could, you know, pass cars on old tires, and that's going to be a challenge this time around, I feel like.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Do you think that, like, because COTA ran without natural cautions, there's just the stage brakes, and the way that this car drives, it's probably not going to see a lot of mistakes. So are the top teams just going into it like, all right, we just have to assume there's not going to be many yellows, and if one happens, oh well? Or, like, do you have to plan for that contingency?
I think you always try to plan for every possible thing that could happen. You know, you're like, okay, if there's no cautions, here's our game plan, and then if there is, you have to change, you have to adapt, and you have to try to make the right decision in those moments. So I think everybody will have kind of a play sheet, so to speak, on what they think is going to be right. And, you know, you just wait and see how it plays out. You know, you never know. A lot could happen here. It's a narrow track, certainly narrower than COTA. And potential for guys getting into each other is there. So we'll just see how it plays out.
We'll stay up front for a couple questions, and then we'll head to the back. So we'll start here.
Hey, Martin, I know you tested here, but after you tested is when the photos appeared of the track coming up in a couple places. What did you think when you saw those photos, and do you feel like it's all been addressed?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was, interested in seeing them. Obviously, I was surprised. The track was in really good shape when we were here. Now watching on TV just now, Xfinity practice, I see a lot of patchwork and a lot of things that look totally different than it did when we were here. So I think it's going to be different, no question. I don't know what they used. Anytime you mess with the surface, you mess with the grip level and all those corners, it changes things a lot. So we just got to get out there and, fortunately we have a little bit of practice and we'll get a feel for that. And, we have the opportunity to make some changes on the car, which we don't normally. So, hopefully we can figure it out better than everybody else. That's really all that matters. The track's the track. It's going to be the same for all of us.
We'll go to the back first, and then we'll come up front.
Tom Zaleski on County Today. Martin, the way the surface is right now, does coming in from turn 7 into turn 11 with the lack of a tire wall, does that add to the challenge a little more, or how with the additional speed, how you approaching this spot? How hard will it be?
I think it's going to be a little different. Obviously, different visual for sure. Having that tire, not having just tires there. And having a wall, but I mean, there was always a little bit of wiggle room when you could move around there in turn 11 and find some grip, especially on the curb. And now there's less room there. So I mean, I think it just depends on what the track's like. If it's really slippery down there, sometimes the curb gains grip as it gets rubber down, put down on it, and things like that. So you'll just have to see, how it works this time around. It's just definitely going to be a little harder to hit your marks down there, I feel like.
Come up front.
Curtis Michelle, Bay Area News Group. Martin, there's been some chatter about you obviously having an opportunity to tie Jeff Gordon for the most wins here at Sonoma. First of all, does that still kind of blow your mind a little bit? And I wonder, what do you remember about your first race? I think it was in 2006 here in Sonoma. Jeff won that race. What do you remember about your first road course here, I guess?
My first race here, I just remember you making a big mistake qualifying. I think I went from third to second in qualifying instead of third to fourth coming out of turn 11. And I believe, if I remember right, we had to change engines for the race. So we started in the back and had a really fast car and passed a lot of cars and had a lot of fun. And that's just the first time here I fell in love with this place, and have always loved it ever since. So definitely remember that day. But it was a ton of fun. We passed a lot of cars and we had a good day overall.
What do you remember about the way Jeff ran this course here? Do you pick up certain things from a guy like him, the way the success he's had here, and obviously getting what would it mean to get to 5 wins here at Sonoma?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the races I watched him here was long before I raced here. So, he was definitely the master around here for a long, long time, and it was cool to get to race with him here. We got into a little bit of an issue one year, him and I. I think it was 2010 or so. We had a really good day going and had trouble in the pits and had to start in the back or something like that. I don't remember what happened, but it was him and Montoya got together behind me going into turn 11, and I was the only one that got spun out. I was kind of upset about that. But aside from that, I've enjoyed racing him over the years, and he was unbelievable here, especially back in the day.
Any additional questions? Yeah, we'll come up in the middle.
Hi, Martin. Kyle Foster, Napa Sports News. You were here during the tire test. That said, you got plenty of laps on the track. What is your kind of initial goal compared to the rest of the field when you get out there here pretty soon?
Probably not much different than everyone else. Just, go out there, get a feel for the track. It's a lot hotter than it was then. I'm not even sure, honestly, what tires they landed on. So, I know my guys have worked hard to prepare, and they do a great job, coming here especially. And just looking forward to getting in the car, getting warmed up, and you know, trying to find some speed. That's really what it's all about. Get ready for qualifying tomorrow. So excited for that, and see what we can do.
Go over to Alan.
Just a quick one, Alan Cavana, PRN. Does the extra speed or faster speed change braking at all? In terms
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, your marks are going to be a little different, obviously, and I think the biggest thing is just that, you know, the tire fall off's not there, and I think the track's going to continue to get faster the more we run on it. You know, so it's going to be different tomorrow. It's going to be different on Sunday. It's going to continue to change, and we're going to need to, you know, figure out what direction to go and what direction the track's going to go, and hopefully be able to keep our car good all weekend.
Any final questions? All right. Well, thank you,
Thank
Martin,
you.
and good luck this weekend.
Thanks.